Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another awesome. Me and off of the fly, please. Okay, so we're going to get this the way it starts worked out a little bit better, but welcome to Whip Finish Wednesday. We're excited to have everyone back again. Hello, Christopher. How's life going in Georgia? So, on the docket this evening, we're going to be tying up a black stimulator that's bigger than normal that we'll be using to fish in Alaska. And Mr. Brashears, hello. You said you wanted to see more streamers. So, I finished this one up. It's kind of an intruder style. I used a shank as opposed to cutting a little doodad off. It's pretty cool. But um, Jeff Rowley is going to send us some mice to take up to Alaska with us. We'll pick one just because Bill said I want to see more streamers. We'll pick one of the mice and try to tie it. So we'll see how we do on spinning the old deer hair. It'll give you something to. We'll give you someone to point and laugh at for sure. But anyway, we've got three more Wednesday nights before I'm on my way up to up to Alaska. Hello, Troy and Jimmy. Nice to see you guys hopping on. So that's pretty much for the next 3 weeks. That's what we'll be doing is time flies for Alaska. Next week, when we were in Norway, Barry showed us a really cool worm fly that he ties that will be tying using a kind of a cool technique that I hadn't seen before. We'll be tying that one next week. Took mouse flies Alaska and never used them. James, or Jim. Well, I'd rather have them and not need them than need them and not have them. So, and I promise that won't be the first time I've gone to the river to fish and brought way too many flies. I've never done that, right, Kitty? For those of you all who joined us live a few minutes ago as I was getting ready, it was awesome seeing you guys hop on. What's up, Gary Barnes in the house? Um, so as we're live earlier, um, one of the people watching asked for a quill body stimulator. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a quill body stimulator. We're also, if I can round one up, we'll do a moose body stimulator. Um, and yeah, see if I can sit and talk to you and get the moose out at the same time. I've got some good moose that I got from Al Caton, but unfortunately, it is still in another container. So I think I'll just use these two containers here. Containers, whatever they're called, patches. So, anywho, let's get started on this. So, here in the vise, we've got one of the ones we posted today, and I use a couple neat little techniques for this one. The body is everything's pretty much all black, but the body is straggle legs and capoc. So the part here that kind of hangs down that normally on a stimulator's hackle, that's straggle legs. This right here makes for a really easy, really durable rear hackle. And also the fish can take it a little bit easier and it doesn't pop out of their mouth. So I like this little line. Hello, Chattooga River Fly Shot and Bull X. Great seeing you on. So that was the body. It did a little CDC, a little crystal flash underwing, the black elk on top, little 2.5 millimeter foam for the cider. These are actually perfect rubber legs. I think it's what's called perfect rubber. So the neat thing about this is that this stuff floats, and this was just purple that I stretched out and barred with a marker. And then hackle, and that's about it. So that's the basis of what we're going to do. And That's one nice thing about fly tying. It doesn't take up much room because I feel like I've been working on this box for a little while, but there's probably just a couple dozen flies in it. Gary sent me a picture of what he's going to be bringing, and it made my boxes seem pretty pale, seem a little thin, a little light. All right. So the hook we're going to use is this Mustad C53S. I'm switching it up a little bit. Long curved, 3 times long, and standard wire gauge. And I'm doing these in size 10, size 12s and 10s. Like I said, these are pretty chunky for for what we're used to. So what we're going to do first of all is tie in some thread. I'm going to use the 12-aught black nano silk right here. So my cheating thread, and I'm going to use the I'm going to wax my thread with this. That loves. It's not super sticky wax. My desk is just really super messy. But this is really hard wax, and it's good for nano silk because it doesn't smear as much. It doesn't. Big Hole River should be fun. Chris, you ought to come out and go fishing with us this weekend. Or we'll come down there or something. Let's go somewhere crazy and go fishing. I was telling someone earlier that I haven't been fishing in since we're in Norway, so it's been like 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm Jones, and this is the first weekend they'll be able to get out in a while. So we'll go somewhere. Truman, but the Skeeters will be hatching in Arkansas. One of our buddies is going out to the White River tomorrow. If you wasn't staying for a week, I'd hitch a ride with him. All right, so we've got our thread started on the hook. So all I'm going to do is just take a little bit of this black elk. If you want to switch over to the side so I can clean it. So I just cut a piece off. I'm not going to find my darn. That's what I get for trying to organize. Now I can't find my comb.
That's what you get for not organizing.
Well, I had a comb somewhere. Oh, right here's where it belongs. This is home right here. There's that peacock feather. And it should be right. I see it now. Trying to play hide and seek with me. No hatching, yearling elk. This is the select cow elk here in black. That one. So trying to get most of that under, and I've said this a bunch. The under fur is what causes the hairs to sink and to not stack super well. Can actually like Velcro in your hair. So I'm going to use. I did pick up while I was at Barry's house these little stackers that hair stackers, the feather bender hair officials. The neat thing about these is just where you can carry so many different sizes with you. So like that would have all the hair stackers you possibly need. So I'm using the midge or whatever, the smallest and second smallest, the two I'm going to use today. So we'll just stack this a bit. Play a little tune. See, I've got that. We'll switch back over to the vise. So see how it's nice and stacked. Pull that out. So there's 2 ways to do it. You can, I'll do it this way starting off. You remind me, I'll do it the other way next time. But you can have your thread right where it is here for mine. But your hackle or your hair here, pinch it. Do a pinch wrap, or it's not really a pinch wrap, but a loose wrap, kind of tighten up. I'm not doing super tight yet, but I'm also not doing super loose. Just a little bit of flare is all I want. See, get it to where my thread's roughly right there. So pull it tight, pull it in 3s. Now I can cut this off. Darn it. Instagram, go live. So now I've got my got this on there. Now even though I don't really want to tighten up on this a whole lot, I kind of have to, because otherwise, if you notice, it doesn't take much pressure to have that roll around. See how it's on that side of the hook versus the ear. So I'll pull it back on top. And I'm going to hold this bunch of hair here. Hello, Instagram. Come over and join us live on YouTube so you can see better. Let's see. There you go, guys. Seriously, if you're on Instagram, come over to YouTube. You will see 10,000 times better. I meant to go live earlier and just remembered. So as you can see, I went all the way back. And now forward, I should have a nice little small flare on that back. And now it's nice and locked in. It's not going to spin quite as much. So one thing that was asked earlier is for me to do a quill body. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to do just a peacock quill per request for the body. You can use whatever. That's kind of getting a little fancy. I like just typically doing dubbing and straggle string works really well. Straggle legs works really well. But right now, what I'm trying to do is get the body as smooth as possible for the quill. Just like this. So as you can see, that's pretty like, and thank you, Al. Thank you very much. See how it's nice and smooth now? That's all I was wanting to do. Kind of not perfect right up at the top, but it's okay. So now bring this back and I need to get rid of these fuzzies here. I'm cheating because I hit my hook point, so that part of the thread was fraying. So I just put it all in the front. That nano silk's not going to build hardly any bulk, so not a big deal. But here's the special thing. You can go back to where you were. Here's the requested color we'll use for the quill. This fluorescent yellow, not exactly black, but hey, it'll be a-okay. And if you want, usually we do these side-by-side wraps, but you know, if on a fly like this where it's a little bit bigger, you can leave a little bit of gap. You can even put a wire in there if you want. So we'll probably be leaving just a bit of a gap, but I like tying all my flies like this. I'm going to just wet this, run this in my mouth just to wet it just a bit. I'm going to cut this off like that. So see, I've got that cut off. And I'm going to tie that in. And then I'm going to get just around. That should be good. Get a hackle plier and we'll spin this up. So I'm going to leave just a bit of a space in between. Not too much though. There we go. That's looking good. And if I whisper to it, it always works better every single time. And once we get done with this, I bet Katie will have some pictures she would like to share, right, Katie?
I do.
Holy moly, look at that. Put this back here. So now I'm going to twist this up because that is going like the opposite of flat there. We're going super flat. Okay. Couple wraps, tighten up. There we go. So that looks pretty good. That looks pretty sweet. Let's get some flow. And I'll be just hitting this with some resin. Katie, do you want to take over for a second?
Sure.
Or do you want to wait?
You want to share some pictures?
Sure. And if I missed anyone's comments, let me know. But right now, I'm just going to put some resin on here, like that.
Okay, well, I would love to share some pictures of the Panama and the Dalai Lama. This was Mike Ragstone's Panama, Jimmy Roop's Panama, little Renzetti sticker in the background, Magpie Fly Time. I really love the blue background is always a solid color. And there's another view. I thought it was a pretty one. A Bullock 72 took a screenshot from his reel. And here's Freddie's beautiful picture in Panama to go along with it. A couple different ones there. Al's. I like that natural looking background it's sitting on. Very cool. And then we had some of the Dalai Lamas, which is what we did last week. And this one is Bullock 72. And then Bullock's is real. And finally, Jimmy Roop's dolly. So I'm glad that we're getting back on track with sharing flies.
Absolutely. It makes it fun.
Absolutely.
There's Mr. Yates.
Thank you guys for sharing your flies this week and the ones from last week too.
All right, so I believe it was Josh Riston. Is Josh on here right now? I believe he's the one that got on before we went live, but was live with us, and requested this body. So Josh, if you're on, send us your address and we'll mail you this fly, just because you were so kind to be to give us the suggestion for this part. Jimmy Rope and Steve and Jeffrey. It's good. I was wondering, we got everyone all riled up. It was Steve and Jeff. So if you're on Instagram, you're missing out on the fun over on YouTube. These guys are, poking with each other and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. All right, so I'm getting 2 pieces of crystal flash, folding them over. See, I folded them over. I cut them. So now I've got 4 pieces of crystal flash. We'll fold them over one more time. Fold them over like that. And I can fold them over one more time, but that's plenty. So now just cross it over like that. Pull these back. Just trying to get nice little even coverage there. See how it goes all over? That's good. Trying not to overthink it. Don't lose it in the roto. Got to keep it in the roto. All right. So I've got some terrible black CDC, but it is black CDC nonetheless. I was kind of surprised I could find it. I haven't used it in a little while. We'll grab 2 just for the sake of time. I'm just going to grab 2 CDC feathers. Depending on the feathers, like this one, I probably would grab 3 or 4 even. Just because it's a bigger fly. But so we'll go like that, pinch. Pop this off. That is a unnecessary step, but it does give a nice little bit of bugginess to it, and it dries. The CDC does dry really quick. So we'll hold that up because I want to keep everything as much as I can on top of the hook shank. CLFA. So Jeff, I already told everyone that I was going to get your flies in the mail and tie them all live, like 10 times better than you, and make. Just kidding. I'm gonna butcher Jeff's flies. I'm gonna try to tie a mouse and try to see what he sends that we're gonna fish with, and do my darndest. And then I'll send them to him, and he'll just laugh and be like, You're such a newbie. And you know what? Katie's gonna laugh at me because I
You're
can't find
missing
my.
something. I can tell you're.
Yeah, I know. It's that's that comb again. I need to put a glow stick light on that comb. Something. I'm serious. I lost that comb again.
It's underneath something.
I'm sure it's underneath something, but it's like it. This is ridiculous. How the heck did I lose that was the one thing. Maybe I put it back where it belongs. Hey, I did. I put it back where it belongs. It's the first time for everything. So when I talked to Jeff earlier, he was like, "Well, do you want me to like? Do you think about tie like an articulated mouse or this or that?" And I'm thinking, good grief, an articulated mouse. What does it have? Like 7 or 8 articulations? It's no. I'm gonna tie the easiest one possible. The albino mice. Mine is made out of whalebone. Your mouse? You must be talking about something else. I have like 4 dozen Dalai Lamas tied up and ready to go. Now working on mice. Well, Gary, did you see the one that's purple and chartreuse that I showed a second ago? I just finished it. I might put it in the vise just to see what you think because, your comb was made out of whalebone. I'd still lose the darn thing, but that does sound pretty darn cool to have a whalebone comb. When you're tying in elk hair, make sure that it's going the right way because that was not Mr. Obvious here. I'll try and catch at least one fish on it. They were trying to put a shadow box something. I'm good at losing fly. Yeah. If I tried to catch one fish and put all the fly, I'd get grief. I'd lose most of them. I'm catching a lot of fish. Where are you catching fish? Not like what state, Chris? I'm looking for an adventure this weekend to go fishing. All right, so we've got this wing here, and Josh, there's something in particular you definitely want on your fly. Let me know. So do 1, 2. Okay, good. Pull till I get a good flare. This is why I use nano silk on this because this elk is very coarse. It's very hard. And if I use this regular 12-aught classic wax, I can get it, but I will break it every now a lot more often. And I never break the nano silk. Grab a little bit down, bring the thread forward. This is a technique that I came up with like 7 or 8 years ago, but I've been doing it for a while. And if this doesn't make sense, ask now. But see, I'm bringing it through. But then this is what I learned this on Fly Fish Food. But if you bring the thread forward like this, as opposed to it being a nice little tight tie down, I'm spreading it out towards the hook eye, like so, with a bunch of little ones. So as you can see right here, here's my tie down now. It's this wide. So it makes it a little bit better for when I'm cutting it off. Just extra love. Central Pennsylvania. That might be a bit of a drive, but hey, I'd be up for it. Especially if Katie be up for it. But then again, she was talking about a thing, so cut that off like that. Bring it down. Pull it off. Oh, come on, get off there. And something like that's what we're looking for. So I do have this one there. Pull everything up. Still have our pretty quill body. That is pretty. So now I'm going to come through like this. Just bring my thread through those butts. That really locks everything in nicely. That's good. And we'll make this one quick and simple. Well, no, this is make the next one quick and simple. So one thing that's kind of neat is on that one we posted is got this right here. This is perfect rubber. Sure didn't mess anything up. No, it's fine. So this stuff I learned from Chris Johnson, I believe is his name, over at Living Waters. That's over Jeff Rowley's way. Oh, this stuff. And it floats. So he uses it on streamers, so the legs and stuff will move up as it sits on the bottom or something. I'm going to use it on dry flies, so it'll float. Not that it's going to like float like a life jacket, but it should float a little better than normal. So I just cut a piece off. We'll slap it right here, just like this. So let's switch back over to the. See, I mean, basically, you're right there. Only 600 miles. Is it Chris Johnson? Is that his name? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I don't know. So 2 wraps. Now we'll pull this down. Probably I should tie my hackle in first, because that's just one less thing to get in the way. So the hackle that I'm using, yeah, it's good. It's off of a, I don't know, it's off a rooster. I'll show you in a second. So now I've got that tied in. See, I'm not super worried about getting every one of these elk hair fibers tied down. Now, if I've got these long ones, see those 2 long ones right there? I want to cut those out of there for sure. So if you notice, if this is sitting in the water and the water the water line is the rubber leg like this. So let's get it up there. See how the wing is in the water? The wing is sitting on the water. So I've got the wing going out like at a V, and you can see the body, but the wing's on the water. And I'm even going to flatten that a little bit more. So it's a little flatter. Your feather guy, that's right, Nan. And you know what's funny, Nan, is that it was this saddle right here. Switch over to the side. That I was using tying the leggy Kates, that you wanted to get this exact one or one just like it. And that's kind of the funny, because Nan, top of the evening to you. I didn't know you were on here. Good to see you. But this was the saddle that we were using, and it has a lot of really good little speckling and different things in it. But anyway, but my point in talking about the elk hair wing is, I see a lot of people when they're tying simulators, the wing's really high up like this. And you know that's okay, but there's a really good chance that if when I'm done with this fly, if everything's up like that, that when it hits the water, it's going to land on it. It's going to lay like this, or maybe lay like that on its side. And I'm not saying a fish would not bite it. Yep. I've talked to Phil over at Whiting to have him pull something for you and send it to Chris. I'm not saying nothing would bite it, but I like having my wing down more like that, so it's in line with where the water would be. I think that made sense. All right, so now we'll go back to what we were doing. A couple loose wraps. This, pull that down, pull this down. That. So now we've got our hackle tied in. We've got our legs tied in. Everything's good. Now you don't want to, especially this nano silk, you don't want to pull super, super tight on the thread, or because it'll cut through it. Now I'm going to go with black kapok, unless Josh, you probably can't tell me. Yep, I'm going to do barring on your legs, or no, I'm going to do barring just because I did it on the one that we posted today, and it is a very easy, crazily easy technique. And if you don't know it, then you need to. But I'm just doing a nice uniform dubbing noodle here. Do you want to switch over to the side so they can see some sides of the hook? So it'll take me a second to get this dubed. So it's kind of important on this that I do that I take my time making this noodle, because I do want it nice and even. If the part here is really thick and here is really thin, it's not going to look right with when I wrap the hackle through it. Okay. There we go. All right. Cool. Markers. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I said. That's what I mean. It's like it's pretty simple, but if you've never done it or never thought about it, then all right. So now I'm going to pull this back, work our thread up. Okay. I'm going to just for the fun put one wrap behind everything. Pull this back. Couple wraps here. Pull this back. Once again, we'll just keep our mouth. Here we go. Oh, one more. Oh, it's that little slide, but that's close. So one thing I look for is right here. See, and this is especially like when you're dubbing. You go back to the hook. So especially when you're dubbing the abdomen and the thorax, you don't want there to be a blank spot right here for the transition. And just like where I did the quill body, the quill comes right up to here, and then the dubbing starts. If I would have tied the quill off here and there was a gap here and then the dubbing starts, that for me that wouldn't be that good, but that's pretty much perfect of what I would want. So now I'm going to pull this forward. I guess we can go and cut that like that. Not too worried. I do want to leave these long right now before I get them all done up. So I'm going to bring this around. Same as always, straight up and straight down. Pull this back. Well, that one doesn't want to. I hope everyone's really holding their breath for me to make sure that I don't mess this up. I had that one I posted, or that Katie took a picture of today, and we posted. It kept giving me fits last night because my hackle stem kept twisting. Every now and then, if you get a hackle stem that's booger, you can just spend forever on it, and you just need to cut it and throw it in the trash. So after about 15 minutes, that's what I did. There's that. That. Okay, pull that tight. And now we'll do a quick little whip finish, and I'll do the legs, and this one will be done. Put a little resin on it.
Are those the same legs that you have in the picture today?
Sure are.
They look good. I'm glad you remembered them.
Oh, thank you, honey. Between you and Gary, I don't know how I could forget anything or lose anything.
I don't know how you lose your stuff either.
All right, so the legs, to finish them off, I will go ahead and do this while okay. What's up, lid rig? All right, so and seriously, this is one thing I was glad, especially how messy my desk has been, tying all this black stuff. Black on vice bases and normal stuff does not show up. It's hard to see black hackle. But if you've got a nice little white lid rig thing, show on the side again. This helps you out tremendously because you can see your black stuff on a black background. See? And I was having a hard time seeing stuff. So every now and then I pull this over and be like, oh, what? Okay, now I can see. So go for the stuff. Okay, so I've got my marker here. What I'm going to do is you have to tap it like this, like that, twice. Grab the leg, pull it like this, and then it will kind of splatter just a bit if you let it. But just kind of strum the guitar with it. Don't need to go all the way up because we're going to cut a bunch of it off. But see, you'll switch over to the side here, and you can, or switch over to, yep, perfect. See, there's that button. See that one? I'll do this one right here. Just pull it tight. So I'm just kind of painting up the leg. So then when I bring it down, see how it's got those little bars on them? Just like that. Do the other side. It's kind of fun. I did a bunch of these, I don't know, a few years ago. And I was like, man, I got black stuff all over. Where'd that come from? I didn't realize that as I was sharpening them up, going like this, it was splattering Sharpie on me. But see, there it is. This is another cheats trick. But it's kind of a good way that we make your own colors and stuff. Don't have to have every single variety in the world. Yeah, we got Jeff on here. We got, I won't say everyone, but we got a few people on here. Some big, let's see how that one, oh, we're stuck together. That looks pretty good there. Maybe a touch long, but I'll leave them on the long side so Josh can trim it back to his heart's content. So what I'm trying to do is grab a hold of the legs and have them be not stretched. So see how it's not stretched there? And then I'll guesstimate, pull like that. And that's pretty much what I want. Okay, adjust them around. Now we've got a cool little thing with Josh's requested yellow quill body. Cool. So unfortunately that was not going. Oh, and I forgot to, that's okay. I forgot to put a cider on that one. So this next one we'll put a cider on, assuming that you all remind me. This will be this one definitely. Josh, is Josh going to catch a grayling on this one? Maybe I'll catch a grayling on this one. This would be my goal. So we're going to do the exact same thing.
You can eat a grayling too.
Yeah.
If you want.
Yep. You sure can if you want. If it tickles your fancy. Hey, Instagram, that leg hack is amazing. It is pretty cool. I think Cheech was the first one that I saw do that. And if you're watching on Instagram, Fly Fishing, Farva, and 5 or 6 others of you guys, come over and check us out on YouTube. We're live right now on YouTube. We'll see quite a bit better and hopefully pick up the little tricks and tips and stuff and get in on the phone with everyone chatting. Although if Chris is being a little too too nice. Yeah, we are too, Josh. I'm looking for hopefully a month from now. Maybe not a month from now, but close to a month from now, I'll have caught my first grayling ever. But I don't think I'm the only one that's never caught a grayling. I'd say most of us will never catch a grayling. All right, so that one, I tied the tail in a little bit different last time. Or I tied the tail in one way, and this way I'm going to tie it. So I've got this, see, I've got that stacked. Pull this out. So last time my thread was here, I pinched and tied it in. This time I got my thread up here. So I'm going to set my elk hair right where I think I want it. That was about right. Pinch, loose wrap, tight. See how it just flared out? Now we're going to work our thread back. Pull tight. See, I'm holding with my left hand, with this hand here, I'm holding the tips of that elk hair tight and up off the hook shank. Oh. All right, keep sliding. Okay, that was about right. Bringing it back up like this. And Yes, I am crushing everything here. I'm not trying to get it absolutely perfect, but if I don't like tighten down on it good, then it will spin around the hook shank. Okay. It looks, let me get just a little bit more. I should have whispered. There we go. So pull this up, chop it, chop your thread off. I haven't done that in a while, have I? It's because you all weren't saying anything. I was lonely. I was like tired of talking to myself. I haven't cut my thread in a long time. I've broken it a bit, but I haven't cut it in a long time. Thank you very much. This is the start of hopefully a great fly. And if you'll come over on YouTube, you can see it come together a little more. We just finished one that was turned out pretty good. All right, so we're going to do a moose mane on this one. So I'm going to go here's one. And this was like a last minute decision as well. So the ones I posted today, they've got they had, or one of them had a straggle string body. And I really like using the straggle string body a lot. It's easy to use as far as tying in. It's really durable. It's really effective with the fish. All is well. What's up, Brian? You gotta come, Brian. Will check us out on YouTube as well. It's you can see a lot better. We've gone live on Instagram for years and years and years and years and years. Kind of joking, but kind of not. We've gone live on Instagram for a long time, and a little over about 18 months ago, we went Molex. Yeah, I see. That's what's fun about live is I can't like, hey, let's delete that part. But anyway, we started doing it on YouTube about 18 months ago, and it's with 4 different cameras. It's nice. We still got some stuff to learn, but it is nice. So we got this moose mane here. We're just going to wrap it up, make it look pretty cool. Just like this, and it should start getting a little bit lighter as we go. How's that look? Yeah, it looks nice. If that doesn't look cool, well, there's something wrong with you. Hold your breath, or this thing's gonna, I'd say a curse word because this thing would break off. Oh, get that off of there. There we go. There we go, just like that. There we go. Ties Flies is on. So see, you can see just a touch better. And I'll do a few wraps here. So that was just a quick little down and dirty on the moose. I'll pop that off, pop that off. Now we're good. So see how that turned out? Kind of neat. Not super necessary, but you can use it just dubbing. But I think having this clear or using the straggle legs is good, because having the hackle that hangs down below the hook point here, if you're using hackle, try to get it the same distance down or a little bit above the hook point, because having the hackle below the hook point along with everything else just makes it to where it doesn't ride quite as good. In this case, it's going to ride low. The tail's going to be in the water. The body's going to be in the water. The wing's what's going to keep it floating, not the bottom hackle here. What is it? You knew my name? Brian? Yeah. We have a few people's names on here. More, I don't know, more than I think it surprises people when I say feels. But then again, that can be like Truman's been on for like a couple days anyway, and I'll forget his name. But what's that dude's name? The guy, his dog's Henry. His dog is Henry, but we don't know. All right, so we're going to go with our crystal flash here. And here, let's switch over to the side again so I can show this, because I did this before, but I didn't have the camera on. So I just cut 2 pieces of crystal flash off, line up the butts like this. We'll get them straight so you can see better. So I'm lining them up, and I cut this, and I'll have 4 pieces of crystal flash. Bring it around like that. Line them up again. That's roughly good. So there you go. So now we've got all of our little bundle of crystal flash here. We talk about you when you aren't here. That's right. Steve's got it right. Yeah, you don't ever want to miss a show once people know who you are, because then we'll really talk about you. All right, so we'll switch this. We'll flip this around. Get it nice and tight. So there it is. We got her probably a little bit much, but like I said, this is a big one. Cut that off, and that's good. How are we doing on time? Perfect on time. This is going to be good. And if you wanted to, you could put a little UV on there. You can put whatever you want to, but guess what? I don't want to. I'm going to leave it just like that, and I'm going to take this Alaska and fish it just like that, because the worst thing that happens is a fish bites it. It unravels that, and I rip off the moose mane, and I keep fishing it. Not a big deal. Not the end of the world. I'm leaving it. Hardy har. Let's see. Someone get my CDC. Oh, and I was going to invite people from Instagram to come over, but there's only one person watching. So now I'm just sorting through my black CDC is horrendous. So Josh, I apologize if the CDC underwing is not the best. Probably should have switched to a different color on your yellow one. This live with different views is amazing. I'm telling you, don't be copying now. Just kidding. We're the only ones that do it. This is like our Katie. We even got Katie over here. Can you say hello, Katie?
Hello.
You gotta switch it and show off your background lighting. There we go. See, she's got her. Is it blue or purple?
It's kind of in between.
In between. That's right. Oh well, I've got. Now put the side here. This is the other side. This is funny. Maybe Katie, you switch over to the side here.
Oh, sorry.
So this is what I've been trying to flip through to find one good or 2 or 3 good black CDC. But what I'm looking at is a tip. And a lot of these tips have actually been cut. That one's okay. This one doesn't have a tip. I don't want a big hard tip, but I need something that's got a little bit of substance to it. So we'll use these 3. I'll just throw those away. So hopefully it'll be okay. All right, so now I'll bundle these up. So it's bundled up here like that. Set this right here, right on the hook shank. Let me switch it back to the hook, please. See, that's right there on the hook shank. I'm gonna wrap this back here. Get that right there. Pinch. That's now we got it on there. Like I said, if it was a better piece of CDC, it would have, I'm sure, been a lot better, but it's not.
Thanks, Toss Flies.
Oh, did I miss next round on Todd's flies? What I miss? So you're so much better than everyone else. That Katie is a genius. The ATM switcher next round on Todd's flies.
Toss Flies gave us a little donation for our time community.
Oh, thank you. I don't know how you do that, but thank you. All right, so we got that done. Well, I'm not going to say anything because I don't know. Now we're going to do the elk hair again. Do that little somewhat of a trick. Not so much. Oh, another thing to watch for when you're doing that. I didn't get enough. So I said that. Another thing to watch for when you're doing these wings is don't put too much. A lot of times, I'm terrible at it. I get my wing going, found my wing going. It's just way too thick. You don't want an absolute gob of materials because. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. I can't see what you did, but Katie said you donated for the community or something. Thank you. But anyway, so don't get too much material for your wing. Too much make it where it's harder to lash down nice and tight, to tie down. Too much. That's really the biggest thing is it's hard to tie it down. Somewhat affects the, this is actually verging on too big. So lengthwise, let's switch back over to the thing. Lengthwise, see we're going for the tips to be just a touch shorter than the tail. So here, you see where my tail is and my tips are right there. Okay. Pinch everything, flatten everything out. 32 here. Well, yeah, this is about 82, Steve. So I'm way high. Lift up. Do one more. We'll pull tight. Pull really tight. Now, because of this nano silk, I can cut through the elk hair, so I don't want to pull like as tight as I can. I'll bend the hook, but I want to get that good flare like that. I'll pull some of it, bring my thread through it, and bring it forward like this. Then pull tight. Bring up some more, bring it down through, pull tight. Bring it down through, pull tight. And see, I'm just constantly going, this shouldn't really take long unless you're showing people on YouTube and now you're worried about cutting your thread because you already cut it once. It's one thing to cut your thread every now and then, but when you cut it 2 or 3 times in one show, then people start asking questions. They're like, wait a minute. Does he know how to use scissors? Don't forget the cider. Thank you, Josh. I would have. So I think it was Gary when I showed the picture last time or something about these. He was like, "Man, you need to do some of those with ciders, or you need to have something so you can see them." So I was like, "Oh, well, that's no big deal. Throw it." It might not be Gary, but someone. Well, we can fix that. I'm gonna run thread through here real quick. But ciders can be foam. If you notice on the post today, there's foam ciders. There's and one of them's got the poly yarn. So we will just there. Here we go. Looking good so far. Okay, so let's go whatever I can find first. I've got foam here. So the foam, all I would do is I would stick it right here. Make it kind of long so I can cut it shorter. That. Cut it short. Pull it tight. So I'm working it back. This. So unfortunately, with the foam, it's going to stick up a little bit. You can, with the dubbing, I can push it down a touch, but it's just kind of the nature of it. It sticks up a bit. So I've got, well, before I undo that, I'm going to make sure I can find it because I had one teeny tiny piece of material that I won't do it. We'll see you, Brian. Thanks for hopping on. I guess give us a subscribe so you can know when we're going live, but we're live. We try to be live every Wednesday night. Thanks for hopping on tonight. All right. So what I used was the poly yarn. So we'll get some of that out. I think that it lays down a little better. That's why we're going to go with it again. A nice piece of it here. Here we go. So I'm going to set this right here. Do a couple wraps. Pull it length. See, I'm just pulling it. That's good. That will somewhat cut this off. I'm going to pull it to length. Didn't really work too well. Still looks good. Nice and tight. And now we'll just leave that long. I'll trim that at the very end. So now we've got a nice cider. So you'll be able to see it from a distance. We'll use this hack, the same hackle we used a minute ago. I believe it's the same one. Tuck it in like this. And I want to put our dubbing on again. And remember, even. It can be really thick, but keeping it even is the kind of what we're shooting for. And I'm going to try to work my way up with dubbing and then back down. Go like a real thin layer going up. And what that's going to do is just going to give my dubbing a little something to bite into on the way back down the hill. And that's going to be important so it doesn't slide off and leave gaps. Nobody likes a big old gap. So we'll bring this down to here. See, these can be kind of somewhat open spiral wraps, but that little bit will give it just enough purchase. See, I'm looking underneath to make sure that my dubbing doesn't overlap. There's a here we go. Pull it off. Okay. Thank you, Josh, for the reminder on the cider. So now let's wrap the hackle. If you start getting a short piece of hackle, then grab your hackle pliers. It's so much fun to use hackle pliers for what they're designed for. Oh. Here we go. Got to be quiet again. There we go. All right, so put a few wraps here, then pull it back. Cut her off and just hope I don't mess up here, but there we go. One more to cut. Thought he was going to get away from me. Thought he had gotten away from me. Hoping the hackle doesn't slip. Yeah, that's a big thing to hope for. It turned out, looking at in the video camera part that what you are looking at, it turned out okay. Not the best in the world, but definitely not the worst.
Thanks, Ty's Flies.
Brian,
And everybody else, thanks
Oh.
for watching tonight.
I think Brian already left. Thank you, Katie.
Don't forget the cider, says Josh.
Yep, that's what that's why I was telling him thank you for, because I would have forgotten it because I asked him to don't forget, and I've got it on here, which is a miracle. All right, so, and if y'all don't do it this way, you don't have to, but see all that resin or all the Sally Hansen's, just keep an old thick piece of wire here, just tying wire, run it through a couple times. That gets the eye nice and clear. Got a lot of resin on there, or resin, I keep saying resin. Sally Hansen's on there. And that's just a good way to get it cleared out. So now we'll cut this off. However long you want. And there we go. Nice little moose mane stimulator, sofa pillow, naked stimulator looking thing. Black. That'll go with us to to Alaska. So we switch it over to the side. Thank you, Todd. Where have you been all the darn time, Todd? It's good to see you. I need to come up and fish with you this weekend, Todd. Send me a note, please. Well, you're like, dude, I'm busy. I don't know what is that. It's going to okay, we put it on the one with me on it, please.
Sit on the side.
I'm sorry, I meant on me. There we go. Totally lost my train of thought. So anyway, Bill, thank you very much, and Jimmy, thank you very, very much. The key thing is just a bigger stimulator type of style fly in darker colors. But if you need a yellow one or orange one or natural one, tie it up. It doesn't matter. Maybe you need to tie a size 18. Email them to us at DemuthFlyFishing@gmail.com or tag us in your post so Katie can share it this time next week. We'd love to see your flies. Should we fish? This was so stimulating tonight. Speaking of which, pick you up some stimulator blend coffee.
Good one.
Absolutely.
Clever.
Stimulator blend. Super Stimmies, Chattooga. We need to get down to Chattooga River Fly Shop too. I heard that you were fishing with our buddy Truman this past weekend. Thanks, Freddie. I like to snort the beans. Jim Cannon. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome. It's always fun seeing you on here. We'll go ahead and get off of the Instagram. It's great seeing you all on here. We love seeing your flies throughout the week. If you have any questions or any requests, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And between now and next Wednesday, I'll turn it over to Katie. We'll see you later. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend. Tie some flies or go fishing or just
Banging flies, says Gary.
whatever it is that you like to do to have a good time. Bye, everybody. Have a good night. See you later.
See you, Farva.